time for Bridgestone Production Cars racing action from round number 6 at the Zwartkops Raceway. All this action brought to you by Sasol, reaching new frontiers. It's the Sasol race day, and it's a turning point of the championship because the last couple of rounds has been truly dominated, certainly in the Class A's, by the BMWs. This is a circuit, though, that suits the all-wheel drive, certainly in the Class A's.
Right now, Johan Free probably finding the vein of form of his life and driving superbly well. A big scare for the Audis.
Watch out, because in qualifying, Michael Stephen, the reigning champion, has turned it around to take pole from Gennaro Bonafide, Gavin Cronier and Henny Groenewold.
Simon Moss and then Johan Free, surprisingly in 6th. 0.1 separates the top 3, and Michael Stephen finds himself on pole. You must be delighted.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's been a while since PE. The last 2 rounds we haven't really been able to attack for pole. The guys have been working really hard, in between the last race and now, and the results are showing. So yeah, looking forward to the race.
Big news for the team and also the race day, because you put it second quickest, almost on pole.
Yeah, look, qualifying was extremely close. We knew yesterday after practice that it would be a dogfight between the top 6. And, that's just proved it this morning, the fact that, the top 5 was 0.15 of a second between all of us. So I'm very happy with P2. We just didn't quite make a pole position, but obviously Sasol raced there. We had a shine, and that's what we're going to do.
In the Class T's, it's all about Graham Nathan trying to defend that championship lead. Mike Van Rooyen has got a good run in second place. Gary Famato and Mandla Mdekani.
Sean Germany just at the back of the field of Class T. 107.9 gets you on pole. You must be happy with that.
I'm very pleased. Big smile on my face. The guys have done a really good job. I did a good job in qualifying. I took a gamble with Peter. Peter gave me a bit of advice with regards to how to have a go at it. Had a go. It worked. We're on pole.
3rd. Happy? Disappointed?
I think a little disappointed. I think the gap between pole and ourselves is it's a long way, especially on a little track like this. So obviously, Graham's got that golf running really well. But let's see. It's 2 races. We've got limited tyres, and I thought about that, and we've taken that view, from the onset. So let's hope it works out to our advantage later on.
Race 1, 10 laps, and a rolling start should give a good advantage to the BMWs. But remember, the circuit as a whole is being very, very good to the Audis in the past.
I think the only advantage the BMWs will have will be coming out of speed and sound and onto the back straight going into Castro Edge corner. Other than that, I think it's going to be all Audis.
It's great to see Michael Stephen finally pull the result out of qualifying, because he's been way off the pace, and that's Nathan going farming early on. So the Class T battle is going to open wide open, because that means the Chevy Cruze hits the front going into turn number 2.
Other things to consider here as well, Matt, is its cold temperatures, cold tyres.
Yeah, it's going to be a story to watch out for. Graham Nathan obviously making some mistakes into the first turn, but all good, all clean running in the Class A's as they settle into their own battle. Now, let's go and replay what happened. Nathan lost the back end there, going into turn number 1, trying to sweep around the outside of the Chevy Cruze. Went farming, did bring it back online, and rejoined in the 3 spot.
And how often have we seen Nathan do that? He's just got the most amazing saves on a racetrack. Truly a master at his craft.
Bonafide has lost 1 place in 1 lap as well. So Bonafide in the Sasol Audi is going to have to work hard to get himself forward. Cronier running good pace in the 2nd place. And it's going to be all about Michael Stephen trying to dominate and break away. And he is good at that on a circuit like this with clear air. Look at that. He's already got 2 car lengths between himself and Cronier. And Cronier is in a battle.
On the boards below, you'll see Sasol Racing Team below Gennaro Bonafides, and it's a good omen for them because it is the Sasol race day. Last year, same place, same time, same racetrack. It was Sasol getting the big moment and winning.
Yeah, and that was in the rain as well. I don't think we're going to see rain here today, but it is going to be all about the charge from 4th place, because the 2nd of the Sasol Audis, Henny Groenewold, is in a big charge. Oh, Simon Moss nearly tags him out of it as well, but that's good news for Fourie. Fourie has been really battling to find some kind of setup and some kind of form. Happy with his times, funnily enough, but he's just getting beaten. He moves 1 place up without even trying.
It's almost deja vu for me, because last year seeing Simon Moss really not coming to grips with the Audi and spending a lot of time off the racetrack. We know he's quick, he's just got to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah, I think that time around was watching the mirrors. He knew he was under pressure from Fourie trying to climb his way through, but this is going to be a big move. Gennaro Bonafide desperately trying to set up the move there, and that's where the Audi is so good. The big sweep and mid-corner power coming out of turn number 1. He's positioning himself and trying to get up the inside as they turn into turn number 3.
So a little side-by-side movement here. It's Graham Nathan, car T21, and Gary Formato side-by-side, the normal protagonist going at it again here at a track they know very well.
And this is the corner where Nathan had that problem. He's going to sweep around the outside. Good drive. That's going to set up a pass going into turn number 2. He's actually made the pass before they even got onto the braking markers. So good move, and it definitely shows that the GTI has got some solid pace here today.
Well, the other person who had some solid pace was Michael van Rooyen. We haven't had a chance to spend too much focus on the Chevy Cruze right now, but he did feel in qualifying, because they had some brake issues, they could have actually made pole.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, look at the pace that he's got. Yes, Gary Formato has been defending as Nathan started to come up his back door, but that Chevy Cruze is checking out to the tune of around about 2.5 seconds, which by this stage of the race is unprecedented.
Yeah, this was a time in the season that Michael Stephen needed this pole position. I think quietly they were worried at the back of their minds because of the movement of Ferrari during the entire season so far.
And it's clear that Bonafedi's desperate to get through. He's getting blocked, he's getting balked, and all the while Henny Groenewold is going to be able to position himself up the inside and even climb the grass. This is going to be a move for third place as they go into turn number 4.
But Matt, what a great team they are as well. Henny Groenewold and Gennaro Bonafedi. You've got the master and the youngster. They really complement each other really well.
Really well indeed, and look what's happened at the back of the pack as well. Johan Ferrari is joining the party, and he's carrying a ton of speed. This is where the BMW has got big legs, and he's going to be right on the back wheel of the teammates as they spar at the top of the hill.
Yeah, we've got Audi, BMW in the former Cronier as well, as they're up in the complex and doing what they do really well is actually moving the back end of that BMW. And watch Ferrari, the way he controls this car is sublime.
And watch out for third place, because it's changed up in just a few corners. Bonafedi has retaken third place as it looked like Groenewold outbraked himself at the shelf at the top of the hill, turn number 5. So it's going to be all about the big push for Bonafedi to once again get up onto the back wheel of Cronier and see if he can make this pass count.
Yeah, Class A, of course, as we focus on the leader right now, there's Cronier and there's the two Audis.
And there's Moss going farming once again.
Well, I was going to say that. He's a little further back than he would want to, and I just hope that he doesn't start to panic and get a little reckless.
Yeah, at the moment he's just not being able to hold his lines. What is happening out front, though, that 2.5 second that Michael van Rooyen had has been eaten up to absolutely nothing, and Graham Nathan is in with a charge here. Look at that, 3 laps to go, and there is definitely a move for the lead.
Got to say, Matt, I'm really impressed with your eyesight, because to see that little 3 on the digital board was impressive, to say the least. There's the Cruze. Van Rooyen, a little bit disappointed where he is at the moment, but Formato's charging. But Graham Nathan, well, we're not going to rule him out just yet.
No way. After going off and actually slotting down from pole into third place, he's had a good climb back. And I'm just curious to see what the problem is on the Chevy Cruze, because you don't just give away 2.5 seconds. He is getting closed down mid-corner. I think it's a braking issue, because Nathan is starting to really climb the ladder. We'll see if it's brakes at the top of this hill.
Well, the other thing to consider here, which manufacturer and which 2 cars are we missing right now?
Well, the Minis. I mean, Lee Thompson had a problem, and it is definitely a braking issue. You can see the Chevy Cruze was pushing the front end, had to brake real early, and he's in with a situation where he might even go down to third place. Yeah, both the Minis lost in action, but right now there's too much action on track to actually distract us.
Well, I was speaking to Mr. Van Rooyen, and of course he was talking about the brakes getting all hard and glossy, and that is definitely the problem Michael is going through right now.
Yeah, you can see it, so it's good news for Gary Formato. He's just going to have to get around safely. He's got a good cushion behind him of around about 5 seconds to 4th place, so he's got about a lap, maybe a lap and a half, to make a clean pass count.
Well, will it count? That's the question. As they go into that tight little right-hander, through speed and sound, interesting, because not much to go in this race at the moment, and can Van Rooyen make a jump on Nathan? I doubt it, but Formato's coming.
Yeah, the Chevy Cruze is good in a straight line, it's good out of the corners, but here, possibly not going to be the best place to make it count, because you don't have to brake that hard, but it's going to be up to Formato, the 43 Ford Focus, to actually get a good line at the top of the hill, and he's not getting himself set up absolutely perfectly, because Van Rooyen will cover the middle ground.
So up to the top of Sassel Corner, through the complex, really tight and twisty. Good lines are absolutely imperative to get through here, with great drive coming down the hill to turn 8. Going wide, look at that. He's out-braking himself.
Yeah, he just couldn't hold that line, and that's just a real easy, smooth pass there as we go back and pick up on the second place battle, which is now between Henny Groenewold and Gav Cronier. We've lost Bonafedi. He's had some problems in the last couple of laps, and Groenewold just squeezes one all the way to the outside, and second place for the majority of this race becomes third, and that's Gav Cronier going backwards.
Am I seeing things? But have we lost Simon Moss as well?
I think Simon Moss has just been making mistakes left, right and centre and dropping himself off the back wheel, and we'll have to pick up on that. But you see the lead that Michael Stephen had, that's around about 6 to 7 seconds. Groenewold has just timed it to perfection, but watch out, because we might even see Fourie get through on his teammate, which he desperately needs to do for his own championship.
Well, coming into the championship leading so far, and it's the first time that we've seen Johan Fourie looking really
There's
solid.
the pass.
Yep, absolutely. So Cronier's got a problem.
He's either got a problem or he's just pushing the front end out. He's going to get third place, but most importantly, his teammate and championship points leader Fourie will get third. Here is a win, and it was desperately needed. Michael Stephen, he hasn't seen the flag for a long time. He'd be happy to see that one. And there'll be big celebrations for Groenewold as well. A rock-solid second place for him.
So another rock-solid star will also be Graham Nathan, and he'll be very, very happy with this. For Malto, in second, we've lost the Chevy Cruze, but a great win for Nathan, and a good result, 10 points in the bag.
Yeah, third place for the Chevy Cruze, and obviously a problem, but in a situation where he could have taken a massive win on the season. Graham Nathan, though, recovers to get that win. In the Class A's, though, the big story, Groenewold overtaking under yellows, gets sent to the back of the pack. That moves Fourie to second place.
Michael Stephen, incredible stuff, and you won it quite comfortably.
Yeah, it was a great race, and all thanks to the team, Cherry Racing, Engine Extreme, and the mechanics. The guys have been putting in a big effort, and the results are showing for themselves.
I mean, where did you find all the power? I mean, and the speed? I mean, you just went away like a greyhound.
Yeah, I think that was more due to Gavin and the guys behind fighting a bit. On that first lap, Gavin, challenged me, but then he got involved in a tussle, and I managed to get away. So a good race.
It was interesting out there, and as far as we're all concerned, it was good racing. But what happened?
Yeah, look, I mean, Gavin got a good start on me. Unfortunately, got jumped off the start, and I knew going into turn one, if he got ahead of me, my race was going to become a nightmare. We had good pace, we had good tyres on the car, so I thought, if we got ahead of him, we could have challenged Michael, but it's always tough to pass a BMW. He knows we got the Quattro advantage, so the clever man slows down in the middle of the corner, and that's it. You can't drive over someone, so it's racing. It was a good race, and then unfortunately, about 4 or 5 laps from the end, I lost a bit of boost pressure, which kind of dampened the spurts, because I think we would have had a full go.
You must also be a bit disappointed as well up there, but about body damage.
Yeah, I mean, I got the jump on Gennaro. I think, the Quattro advantage didn't suit him on the start. And then I know what I've got to do. We're lacking a bit of pace this weekend, just from a traction point of view. The circuit from the cold yesterday, we really are not finding the grip, and we've got to box clever. So Henny got a run on me on the last lap, and we rubbed Dormer is coming out of the last corner, and he hooked my front rim and took the pressure out of the tyre. So that was the end of the race for me. So.
Looking at the Class T's, a good recovery from Nathan gets him the win in heat number 1 ahead of Formodo. Van Rooyen down in third, staying ahead of Dumini though.
Results of race number 1 and a very ecstatic Graham Nathan. What a drive from the big man. Again, a winner in Class T. Delighted, I'm sure.
I'm very happy. The team's done a great job. My car's gone absolutely perfectly. This VW Golf is just pumping out the performance at the moment, and we're doing a superb job on the day. We had a bit of an incident with Michael going into turn 1. He obviously feels I didn't give him enough space, but I feel there was plenty for him to go until he hit me. So we'll see what the clock of the course says.
Stay with us, because coming up after the break is the feature race, Bridgestone production cars. The Sasol race day made up round number 6 of the Bridgestone production car racing, and it was all to play for coming into the feature race. 15 laps, an inverted grid, and all kinds of chaos about to break loose. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, also the championship. Let's not forget that, because vital points needed for Fourie, and Michael Stephen needs to charge back at that deficit right now. But the man who gets the lucky break, and he picked up a 30-second penalty, puts him in the front of race number 2, Henny Groenewold.
Yeah, he's going to be able to try his very best to break away from this one, but a 15-lapper, which means it's going to get desperate out there. It's already getting desperate, and look at the climb up the ladder for Bonafide as the BMW is leaning all over Moss. Moss gets sent to the outside, and he's going to be kept there as well.
Yeah, he lost drive as well. He had to back out of that. There was nowhere to go. Otherwise, he would have gone off into the dirt again. But right now, our focus, Bonafide and Ferree. These are two protagonists right now, but Stephen's going to be in the mix as well.
Stephen should be able to get a line up the inside. It's going to be a do or die. He's going to have to think long and hard as to where Moss will be, but he gets the move up, and a very good positioning of the car there sees Michael Stephen get himself through and leave the second of the BMWs behind.
Yeah, it's very interesting at the top of that turn 5, the Sassel corner. There are two schools of thought in terms of lines there.
Yeah, it's very hard to figure things out, and it depends on the battle you're in. Look at the front of the Class T's though. Dumini and Mandla Indikani makes a show. Still no show for Thompson because his car is still in the bin from the crash yesterday. But Mandla Indikani, a race 2 specialist, and should be able to run good pace.
Well, he had gearbox problems, which did not allow him to take part in race 1, but great to see him out for 2.
And challenging for the lead as well, because he knows how important it is. You've got to get clear early on and leave the rest of the guys to box it out. Dumini moves over, the Mini goes through, as does Formono, and Nathan looks like he's left on the sideline trying to figure things out, but Dumini got leaned over and he lost 2 places in 1 turn.
Well, it's been absolutely fantastic coming into this round, Matt, because there's been a lot of speculation and talk about the battle between Nathan and this youngster.
Yeah, well, look at Nathan. He's being very, very patient this time around. The Chevy Cruze climbing the hill as well, but I expect to see Nathan and the Chevy start charging on through, but it's Formono that hits the front, and this is going to be a very good situation. In this second race, the feature race, it's double points. You want to get out there, get clear, and stay away from all the trouble, because we've seen a lot of incidents happen in the second race throughout this season.
Yeah, you can see the quality and driving skill and nuance from Gary Formato. He just hung Mandla Indikani out on the left and didn't allow him to turn in there. That's the sign of a good race driver.
At the front of the A's, and it's getting wild. Henny Kronevold is stretching things away. The rest of the boys are charging to see if they can actually hang on to his coattails. It's Cronier that runs in the 2 spot right now, with Bonafide desperate to get on through, but aggressive moves from Cronier there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bonafide, I mean, I've always said he's the third podium finisher, a specialist, so to speak, but he'll want more out of that.
Look at Michael Stephen all the way around the outside, trying to figure things out. You see that? There was a big difference and a great camera shot to show how much stronger the Audis are at coming out of turn number 2. They eat that BMW, but as soon as the BMW clicks it up in a 4th, it starts stretching.
Side by side, the reigning champion Michael Stephen trying to duck to the inside, and look at Bonafide blocking that, not allowing it to. Oh, they're getting really tight and close, and they're going up the hill.
This is where Michael Stephen is desperate. You can see it in his moves. He wants to get through. Why? Because Ferree is starting to come. And those are the 2 guys that are fighting out for this championship. Michael Stephen is desperate to set all these moves up. He's a king of setting up these outside-inside moves, but Bonafide is wise to it. He's going to cover and block.
Well, he's going to have a look down the inside. I think he's got too much. He's out braking. They touch.
That was dirty. It was just dirty on the line there, and unfortunately Bonafide couldn't actually come out of that one. There was a lot of dust, and yeah, that took things out, and look what's happened. Ferree, thank you very much. I'll start climbing the ladder.
Yeah, there's been some history of that.
There
Michael Stephen, yeah, there's the replay, and yeah, and he saves it really well, but that's not good enough to stop the BMW, as you say, coming through.
Yeah, that's going to change things up in the chase group at least. What's going to happen is Ferree is going to see a chink in the armor, and he's going to try and sweep around. This is where the BMW is strong. Outside, he's going to get forced to the dirt, but he should still carry enough momentum to get a nose up front as they head to the top of the hill.
No quarter asked, and certainly none given at the moment, but Michael Stephen in the pound seat right now and chasing the leader down.
Okay, this is dangerous zone here because Bonafide is going to defend. Johan Ferree did have a nose up, but if he'd have turned in, he'd have sent himself off the track. So Bonafide, the man to get around at the moment, and so far Ferree has not been able to make that one count. And look up the road, how much advantage it's given to Michael Stephen.
And Ferree can see that.
Exactly, and he wants to get through and get the job done. He's controlling a real good race at the moment, but remember where we're heading after this event. Cape Town, it's a good BMW track.
Well, it's the hometown track of Johan Ferree, but let's also say that the Audis, and in particular Michael Stephen, have done well there as well. Right now, Class T, and it is back and doing what he does best. Michael van Rooyen is chasing another Ford.
Yeah, and look at that. That's Gary Formato, Mandla Indikani. 3rd place goes to Nathan, and at the moment, the Chevy Cruze cannot find a line to get around the second of the Ford Focuses, which is Dumini.
Well, the Chevy Cruze team are going to be scratching their head because they've never had this braking problem before, and why now would it happen here?
Yeah, a very hard braking circuit, and obviously 15 laps for these guys. They will be sweating because coming into the later laps, that's where it's going to show its faults. Remember, this is almost double the length of race number 1.
Nathan through into turn 1. There's Doomity and the Chevy Cruze Michael van Rooyen, but out in front, well, interesting times ahead because Nathan has got a job to prove here.
Yeah, Nathan just running in third at the moment and just seems to be quite relaxed. Knows there's a long way to go in this race.
So, Van Rooyen is running out of laps to actually make this pass on Doomity. He needs to get through them. I think I saw some smoke there from Doomany's car.
Now, not only that, look down the start-finish straight. There's no one up the road, so he's being held back at that as well. Yeah, on top revs, you can see the second of the Fords is starting to smoke quite badly, and Van Rooyen needs to get around him because if that's any kind of oil, it could cause some major problems to the Chevy Cruze.
Down into turn 2, and Van Rooyen looking on the outside. Not a place you really want to find yourself, but in the drive, that was easy.
Yeah, and you could see why as well. It looks like a turbo diesel out there, which it definitely is not. So the second of the Fords is going to be limping around, and Doomity will be doing very well to actually finish this race in that condition. In the meantime, though, look at Class A. That is our race leader who just went through shot, and that's Groenewald. Second place is still Cronje, but here comes Michael Steven, and he's piling on the pressure.
He has, and Cronje will know that he's coming as well. Oh, there he goes. That's Cronje.
Cronje's bust himself wide. That's going to be almost the entire field going through if he doesn't actually get that thing recovered. It looks like he spun it out again while he was trying to recover. So back of the pack, second place to last, Gavin Cronje.
And the worst thing is he's going to end up behind Simon Moss.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him. He's going to be able to pretty much play no more role in this race. It's going to be a straight-out dogfight for the rest of the guys. Class T now starting to develop, and this is second place. Graham Nathan, he's just, like I said, calmly and collectively caught up to second, and he should be able to make a clean pass on the Mini.
Well, this is one of the confrontations we've been speaking about for the last 3 rounds of the season. Great driving from both these guys, and there's no call. Oh, he ducks on the inside. That was a clever move from Nathan. Can he hold it on the right-hander and down into a left-hander, which is turn 8?
A classy move as well. Made sure you saw the little lean over as he stared across into the eyes of the Mini driver just to make sure he wasn't going to lean back on him. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, cleanest pass we've seen with these two, and maybe that was why. There's a big smoking gun, and it is the Mini. And again, like we saw with Doomini's Ford, he's going to be lucky to finish this race if there's a problem on that car.
We do know that with Madakane that there have been gearbox issues with that car. Could that be a problem surfacing? Oh, look at that, down the inside, it's neck and neck. Nathan and Madakane doing the business here at Zwartkops.
Yeah, they've been all over each other this entire season, and I don't know if that was Nathan just offering a little bit of a line there to see what the kid would do, but he wasn't able to benefit. But look at this, what is going on? Third place just went through shot. That is Bonafide. This is Fari trying to hold off Moss, and this is so important for the championship.
Will it be interesting as well, because if he can make it, that will mean it will be 4 Audis, first, second, third and fourth.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge story, and more importantly, if Moss can take points away from Fari, that means a benefit to his teammate Michael Steven, who desperately needs those points.
100%, couldn't agree with you more, and he needs to play and step up to be the wingman right now, but Fari is not going to give up the ghost here on this one.
It seems like the BMWs are hurting those tyres, and they do. They spin the rubber, and on a long race like this, 15 laps, remember, it's going to hurt. This is Class T, and this is the Nathan and Mundler Indukani battle, and it ain't over. In fact, I think it's just begun.
Well, the other problem is, well, to consider here, we've just seen the BMW of Gavin Cronje, who's fallen off the pace somewhat, and Class T is going to get in the mix of this. He could also have brake problems. There he is.
This is going to be a huge change-up, and it looks like Nathan has got a problem, because Mundler is coming back, and he is challenging, not only challenging, but going for the pass, even though his car is starting to leak a lot of oil.
Yeah, one of the things, though, Nathan has had to drive this GTI very, very hard to be able to compete with this youngster.
Look at that.
Oh, look, rubber.
Holding it off. Chunks of rubber coming off Nathan's car as well. He is not going to be able to defend. He is not going to be able to get any grip coming out of that car. You can see he busts out that line. And Mundler Indukani, even though he is in a car that obviously has its own problems, we are probably guessing that it's an oil leak coming out of the gearbox, but he is charging forward and leaving Nathan scattering rubber all over the Zwartkops circuit.
Wow, it's interesting. So here is Henny Groenewald. He is leading in this race and double the points in his home race, and he gets the checkered flag in the Sassel race day. Absolutely brilliant.
And look in the background as well. Michael Steven gets his second place. Bonafide gets the third, and it's going to be a huge story to see who actually gets the fourth place. This is the win in the Class Ts, and once again now becoming a clear king of race number 2 and the feature races for Moto with a massive win.
Oh, Gary's got a big smiles on his face, and shame for Sean Dumity out there as well. But interesting, a failure for the BMW. Didn't all go their own way.
In the Class A's then, Audis 1, 2 and 3. Groenewold, Stephen, Bonafide, Ferrari did get that fourth ahead of Moss. That's important.
You must be delighted, Henny.
Yeah, very pleased. As you mentioned, it's Cecil Race Day. There's some pressure that comes with it, and just delighted, that we can actually reward our sponsor and give them a good result on their day. So, and thanks to Cecil for all their support. They put a wonderful event on a day like this. So, we're proud to be partnered with them and to be racing their race car. So, to have that win, we're very chuffed.
Gary Formato takes his win, but a huge story. Nathan up into second. Manda Indikani overboosting, dropped down and penalised to fifth.
It didn't look too difficult, but you made it all happen in the first lap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, you had to get through the traffic, which we managed to do quite well, and got Mandla early on. And then it was, I could drive how I wanted to drive and look after stuff. And I knew Graham had to really push, and it shows by how he's used his tyres. So, we just had to take it easy. And we had changed the setup slightly from the first race. The track was quite different from yesterday, and it was better. So that helped us also, look after our tyres.
Coming out of round 6, looking at the championship in the Class A's, Ferrari leads, but Stephen is closing up. Bonafide looking after third for now.
Championship points for Class T, and Nathan still ahead by some margin over Gary Formato. Michael van Rooyen in third.
Next round of racing is round number 7 on the 27th of September. Kalani Race Circuit in Cape Town.
Audis versus BMW.
All this Bridgestone production racing car action from round number 6 at Zwartkops was proudly brought to you by Sasol, reaching new frontiers.